A very good morning, everyone. In continuation of comparisons, as we have done in the previous videos, also, we are going to talk about today a different kind of comparison that is done between two things or two people in the form of similarity or dissimilarity. You will come to know when you read these sentences. Let's read the sentences which are given over here. My house is as beautiful as yours. Rita is as intelligent as Seema. When you read these sentences, the first one, what we are understanding? We have understood that the my house, the two things, someone's house and my house, those are equally beautiful, right? So we can write in this way also that my house is as beautiful as yours. Just look at the formation of the sentence. We are using as dash as. In place of dash, we are using the adjective, correct? And which degree of adjective is there? Can you see? This is positive degree, okay? In the similar way, the second sentence also, you can see that Rita and Seema, they are equally intelligent. Means we are talking about the similarity between two things or two people. In the formation, as we have seen, as dash as. In this particular kind of comparison, when we are finding this kind of formation in the sentences where as dash as is used, we always used we always use positive degree or the first degree of comparison, right? Similarly, if we are talking about the dissimilarity, means the things which are not equal, not same. In We are talking about the two things which are not similar. Okay, so in those cases also we can use this kind of comparison. Like we can read these sentences. Rohit is not as tall as Soham. Means Soham and Rohit, their heights are not similar. They are different. Correct. Similarly, your room is not so big as mine. So here also dissimilarity or different quality has been discussed over here in these sentences. But here what is used? Not. How the formation is used? Not as dash as or not so dash as. And when I'm speaking dash, in that place, on that place, we have to use positive degree of adjective. Okay. Similarly, there is two more sentences, one more sentence is there. Your bag is not as heavy as mine. It means the comparison is between the two bags and which are in different weight. Okay, they are not same, they are not heavy in the same manner. Correct. So in these kinds of sentences, wherever the formation is like as dash as or not so dash as or not as dash as, in those cases we have to use positive degree of comparison. Because most of the time what happens when we are doing the exercises, we just notice that the comparison is between the two things and we quickly put the comparative degree. But we have to be very much particular that whenever this kind of formation is there in the sentences and similarity or dissimilarity between two things or two people have been discussed, we have to use positive degree of comparison. Correct? So let's do the next exercise. Okay, now let's look at worksheet number 4. This is superlative quiz time. What is given over here? A few questions have been given, and in those questions, superlative degree of adjectives have been given, and you have to write the answers in the given space. So look at the first question. Who is the tallest child in the class? You have to think about all your friends and write the name of the child who is the tallest one in the class. Whom you think that person is the tallest one. Correct. Second one is, which is the fastest airliner in the world? Okay, I'll tell you, that is supersonic airliner. Supersonic means the airlines or the planes which can fly um, faster than the speed of sound. Those are called supersonic airlines. Okay. And the next one is, which animal has the longest tusks? And you all know which one is that? Elephant. Question number 3, which animal has the longest tusks? You all know, elephants. Then next one is, which planet is the nearest to the earth? Here you can write Mars or Venus. Both are the correct answers, because sometimes Mars is nearest to the earth and sometimes Venus is nearest to the earth. Next is, which is the tallest building in the world? And I hope that you must be knowing it. That is Burj Khalifa. Okay. Next one is, which is the biggest continent on the earth? I hope you must be knowing it. That is Asia. Next one, which is the smallest continent on the earth? That is Australia. And be careful whenever you are writing the proper nouns in the answers, start with a capital letter. Next one is, which is the highest mountain in the peak of Himalayas? And that also you already know, Mount Everest, right? Next is worksheet number 5. You just leave it. We will be doing worksheet number next worksheet, all right? Next exercise is, do it yourself. What does it mean? That you have to do it on your own. So try to do it on your own and be careful. Here what is given, sentences have been given, and before the sentences the adjective, positive form of the adjective is given. You have to read the sentence carefully, and then you have to think that comparison is between how many things. Okay, if it is if there is no comparison, you have to simply use positive degree. Or if there is comparison, just like we have today discussed about similarity or dissimilarities between two things, in those cases also we have to use the positive degree. You have to be careful when you'll be reading the sentences where the formation is like as dash as or not so dash as. In those cases also you have to use positive degree. And when there is comparison between two things and clear cut comparison is there, in those cases you have to use comparative degree. And when the comparison is between more than two things, in those cases you have to use superlative degree. So do it yourself and tally your answers later with the answer sheet. Correct? Come to the next exercise. In the aid box, you can see some superlative degrees of comparisons. You just read them: oldest, flattest, softest, sharpest, and darkest. Now, what you have to do, you have to use these superlative degrees, and you have to write a poem, a small stanza of a poem by using these superlative degrees. And be creative, be imaginative, and form a poem, the sing stanza of the poem, and use your creativity for writing it. I'll just read out one stanza which has been written by a child. You just read, but don't write the same one. You'll be writing on your own, correct? Your sentences will be different, and better to use this superlative degree in the end of the sentence so that these will be rhyming, correct? So just look at the example given over here. Bhutnath temple is the oldest. The page of my notebook is the flattest. The hair of rabbit is the softest. The teeth of shark are the sharpest. The coat of my father is the darkest. And you must have noticed that before a superlative degree, most of the time we use the before it. So don't forget to put the before it, right? And I hope that you will be able to write it in a very interesting way. So all the best and try it on your own. So that's end for today's work. Have a nice day.